Welcome back, everybody. It's your host Breeze. Shit, I gotta put a sweater on. So, I had to learn about the brain, how the body works, how the emotions have a lot to do with illness. A lot of chronic illness for that one. A lot of body needs. So I started paying attention. I was like, oh well, see what else I could find. And I started reading more blogs about moms. I was just on it. I was investigating, trying to learn everything. I wanted to go to Peru, because they had like these retreats out there, and you're basically out there in the jungle for like 30 days, and it makes you kind of like basically kind of hallucinate. You're isolated, you don't talk to anybody, you're just there kind of fasting and drinking water and drinking some teas, and I guess it feeds you here and there. But it has to do, like, it's a whole spiritual journey over there. Usually people that do this come back and they're cured, they're not sick. And in the back of my head I was like, I could still have this in the future. I want to heal my body. I don't want to die of cancer. I don't want to put my son through that. I already put him through a bunch of shit, and I don't want to put that on him. So I'm on it, and it's really hard. So I started leaning more on God, for this one. I knew I didn't have the funds to fucking go. I'm already injured. I have all these fucking things, and God helps me. There's days that I have no pain, and at that time I was just like, I have done so much harm to this body, so much harm. Let me repair it, and little by little, I started learning how to fast, how to really nourish my body, how to nourish my organs. If I was feeling my lower back hurting for the day, I wouldn't do anything. I would just stay there meditating, pillow under my hips, just meditating, breathing, and taking care of the dogs, because I had to get up and walk. You have to get up and get some sun and put in the energy. And it was just so rewarding. It was so rewarding because my body was like a little plant, and I was just nourishing it, giving it light, giving it water, and giving it love, and my body was responding so beautifully. I used to lay in the bathtub crying naked, like looking at my body naked, like, I'm just getting bones, like, what the fuck, I'm dying, and it was so hard for me to accept my body at that time. It was very hard for me to be like, you know what, you went through a lot, and it's okay, and we're gonna help you repair again. We're gonna help you be strong again, and you're gonna be able to box again, and you're gonna be able to learn how to do jiu-jitsu. And you took a hit, and it's okay to take a time out. Let me help you heal. And it was just a process of, telling my body that every single day. And I started becoming more alive. And of course, I am a mom. It wasn't always rainbows and sunlight. I had PTSD, whether we want to accept it or not here at home. I had PTSD. When I got injured, it was a fracture to the hip. And I was still doing combat training. I got PTSD. Okay? If I'm asleep and I'm hearing the dogs go crazy, or I'm hearing the neighbors go crazy and it's super loud, I wake up in a bad fucking mood and I'm in a fucking rush trying to clean the fucking house. I wasn't like this before. Where do you get it from? Fucking basic training. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, it's just basic training. Yeah, motherfuckers, but you didn't have the fucking injury. You didn't go through the bullshit. You didn't go through the other side of the bullshit that we already took. And, at first people people fucking like to talk a lot of shit. Like, oh, you fucking little crybaby, little bitch. You try to run 10 miles. You try to run 10 miles with a fractured fucking hip, motherfucker. Like, I'm done. Fuck you. That shit fucking hurts. So, that's what happened. You know, so I got PTSD. So, here and there, I go berserk. And then everything made sense. Everything made sense with this shit. You know, with the polyvagal theory, with with the sympathetic system and the parasympathetic. Everything was just like explosions in my fucking brain. And I was like, fuck. And people go their whole life not catching this. So, people don't, whatever, if it's not your thing with religious, get the fuck out, but I started eating more on God with this one, and like you guys, everything he showed me, it was just like a slap to the fucking face. Like anything I wanted to say or anything that later on came up was just a slap to the face, and it would just take me back to the time that I died, and I would remember that he told me that this was gonna happen, but I would know then, and then it would go back to that part, and it's like, you do know everything. And I found it a lot too that it was schizophrenia. I still feel like it's schizophrenia because if you really think about it, the symptoms for schizophrenia are the same things for anxiety, are the same things for depression, are the same. Everybody fucking has it. Everybody fucking has it. Everybody in the world, everybody I've met has it. If I have it, everybody has it. Whatever. Anyway, I was just like, alright, fuck it, I'm crazy. This is like the movie Split then. Fuck. Already see what bitch is gonna come up. And I was just like, oh, I'm crazy. And God would always tell me like, yeah, you are. You're crazy. It's okay. I still love you. So it's okay, Some of us are crazy. The best of us are crazy. God love us. Full of love, full of light, and we're honest as fuck. Anyways. I started having to meditate a lot, right? So Mike would check on me a lot because there was times I couldn't get out of bed. There was times that I couldn't even meditate, and I didn't think that it was work of God. I thought it was just me pushing myself, but it really was Him, and I know a lot of you won't understand this, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's the works, and other people are gonna be like, you got motivated, okay. Anyway, I started meditating. I started being able to open things with my hands. So it wasn't like water bottles. It was more like big jars, big things. I was able to just hold my hands with big things, and I remember I was like, there has to be a way for me to be able to get my hands stronger. I'm on a budget. What can I do? So I started looking around the house and I found rubber bands. So I just grabbed some and then just went like this and started just doing exercises with my hands. Just trying to find ways to do exercises and work certain things around my hand. And that started helping a lot. Everything that went in my body had to be organic, so everything was homemade. I love pastries, so I had to make everything from scratch. So I started learning how to make like carrot cake, and zucchini bread, and all that requires you to use your fucking hands. So I started just, being able to cook. I love cooking. I love baking. ingredients, because when I don't, I stress out and then I just don't like to get, you know. I like my shit cool, but budgets. But everything had to be organic. So cooking was becoming fun because I was able to make very healthy foods for them, and I was able to try some of it and learn new recipes along the way, and eventually they fell in love with the food. So they just take shit of me. They're still sneaking shit, but for the most part they're very healthy. And I remember it was hard because I had to learn how to maintain the body spiritually healthy, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And then I had to keep the body healthy here in the human world, with the loved ones that I have. So I had to be a better mom and understand my son a little bit more and help him heal and get him help and get myself some more help and get Michael some help. And then financially we were struggling, and then we had 3 dogs, and we're like, I don't want to get rid of them. Like, they're family, and Chiquita's she's a singer, she's my grandma, so we have to push through. We gotta stay strong. And I want to say for the most part it was very difficult because I became very emotional. And men don't know how to handle emotional women. They don't know what the fuck to do. They don't know how to pick up the signs that you're in a bad mood or that you're feeling distressed or something. And then they don't know nothing about this bullshit with the, autonomic nervous system going berserk. So as I was trying to learn, I was trying to teach them, like, hey, I'm kind of learning this, and I think it might be this. And it was so hard in the beginning. They're just like, you're just assuming this and this and that. And it's like, I'm trying to figure it out, And, it was very hard. Very hard. We had rough days, but we had a lot of good days. And they were nothing but my anchors, and I appreciate them so much. But for the most part, I was pushing to be healthy, but I didn't know how else to be healthy because fucking everything I ate was making me sick, And then spiritually wise, you can't just eat anything you want because your body's a holy temple. And I had offered God to use my body as a vessel, so I was like, I gotta clean this shit out. So I had to detox my body. I had to take out all the toxins, all the chemicals, all the aluminum. I had to detox from all medication. And I did that for a while. I think I went maybe like 7 months without eating anything that's bad for me. And even when I would try to eat it, it just wasn't good, so I would spit it out. I wouldn't like it. Wouldn't look appealing to me. It would look disgusting. Like I wanted fruit. I wanted vegetables. I wanted food. And it was hard because I was eating healthy, but I was losing weight again, and I was like, fuck, And I guess I kind of went vegan for a little while. I had tried the keto diet, I tried the Mediterranean diet, I tried the low FODMAP, and that one kind of did the job. But a lot of it was fasting and juicing, and I know that's like to people, and that's just like, that's too much, that's extreme to some people. But really think about it, if you guys learn to take care of your gut, that shit is full of shit. I'm not even kidding. I know, I was full of shit once. I got sick, then I got cleaned up, and now I live healthy. So you need to clean your colon, you guys. And God was kind of telling me, like, hey, you need to eat this. And I tell you it's God, you guys, because when you're at church, and you're praying, and He answers you. You know, you can get this overwhelming feeling of love and joy and just that everything is gonna be okay. And it's the same thing like that. He starts showing you that with like the foods you want to eat. Sometimes it will kind of feel like a thump, like you know better, like you know better. And if I would eat something that generally wasn't really good for me, like say, I used to love the Danishes from Starbucks, and I was like, mine don't matter, I'm not sick anymore, and I would take a bite, and it would feel like they punched me in the fucking gut. So it's like, and then I was just like, mine don't matter, and I would eat the whole thing, and I would get fucked up. I would end up in the hospital. So I was like, are you sure it's not celiac disease, right? So that's when we were having the whole stress with that too, like, because in the colonoscopy they have found some brown spots. I was like, are you sure that's not fucking it? Like, I don't want you guys to have to go back in there. Like, that was a one-time thing, motherfuckers. Like, that's been a virgin hole until you motherfuckers went in. What the fuck? And fuck. I was so angry. Now they're saying they gotta go in again. And it's like, I don't trust you guys anymore. My ass. So, I think I need a doctor. But during that time, I couldn't get answers, and I was like, alright, well, if it's this emotional shit, fuck the doctors. I cut them off, kinda, and started focusing more on this, and I was like, alright, there has to be triggers, right? So I started kind of finding, I started finding little things, because I didn't even know the name of it. I just knew, like, I kind of found it through an article of someone that she was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and it ended up being that she has schizophrenia because she had trauma, and this is how they found out that she had trauma, because certain songs were a reminder of trauma that she had as a kid that she couldn't remember, and for some reason she would feel anxiety. So I don't know, that's kind of how they explained it. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't remember the fucking article. I can't give you guys the details. It's just, it's been so long. I should have wrote it down. But I was like, okay, there has to be a way to reverse this. I'm a mess when I have PTSD. I'm a mess when I'm on survival mode. I'll go weeks, months without really sleeping, and it catches up and I throw up. And who pays for it? My loved ones, because they're the ones handling me. And sometimes I could control it. Sometimes I have the willpower. Sometimes I'm strong enough to do it, and sometimes I am not. I notice that when I cannot, it's during the times of stress. It's during the times that, we have the bills piling up. Or like a couple of weeks ago, we had the dogs. They got fixed. One of them got sick and she was dying on us. It's been up and down. It's just been up and down. It's been hard to get it on the podcast. Something always fucking happens, So I started thinking like maybe I have schizophrenia. Maybe I have that split disease, right? So I started reading about the brain, and I kind of figured it like that, like the movie Inside Out, right? You have all these emotions, and you kind of like that, but they're you, right? And you have the emotions that are you, and they're you during this time right now, and then you have the emotions of you and other ages. I started meditating very, very deeply, right? And that was to the point that I wasn't seeing the triangles anymore. I kind of felt like there was this force field, right? And it kind of went through. And then there was like all these fucking mirrors, right? It looked like mirrors, but it looked like windows, right? And each one just had like a disgusting feeling. So I was just like, what the fuck is this shit, you know? And I had read a book. I had read a part of a book somewhere, you know, I stumbled upon something that said that when you come to this point of your mind, you have to stay focused on the principle of why you're there. And I was like, fuck. You know, I remember I read this, and this was like towards the end. Like, how the fuck am I towards the end if I just started this? But it turns out, you know, the cleaner your body is and the closer you are with God and the stronger the relationship, you know, the faster you get there. And the faster you forgive people. You can't be holding on to anger, because all that anger is gonna come out. All that anger is gonna come out, and you can't just be like, oh shit, oops, you know, you can't do that. And these windows started coming down, and they were very heavy. They were very heavy. They were scary. I didn't want anything to do with it, right? And as I started getting more into it, at first it was like a black background, and then kind of like just the windows coming down. And I'm gonna try to paint that next, but I wanted to draw this one first because this one was a lot more work, and the other one will be a lot easier now. But it was very, very hard to see what each of these windows were. Each one of them had a nasty vibration, a negative frequency with it, and I knew that once I got near it, it was going to be something that I was trying to keep away, trying to keep myself safe from. So I had to be ready for whatever it was, and you know, I made it this far. What else do I do? And oh my goodness, it was the scariest shit ever. Going in my inner subconscious, I feel like maybe I do have like split personality disorder, because of all the stuff I saw in there. There's a lot of shit in there. A lot of shit in there. It's ridiculous how much shit is in there. Clutter shit. And you know, it's just like, fuck. Imagine everybody else. Like, I thought I wasn't that fucked up. Like, I know some other people, like, and then I was able to see like why psychedelics isn't for everybody. Like, oh shit, because you kind of see stuff like this, and when you do psychedelics, your demons come out. You see demons, and you know, it depends where your mindset is at too. So I got a lot of steps in the places, you know, and so I was like, we should just do it, you know, psychedelics for everybody. Fuck it, we'll all be hippies. People don't come back sometimes, they go crazy. And I was like, fuck, maybe I went crazy with the shrooms, you know, like, fuck. But, you know, other people have got in their inner subconscious, and I haven't seen them do a whole thing like this, so hopefully more people bring it out, and they're able to show me what they saw, because, you know, I get reptile hands, I get, you know, T-Rex hands. So it was hard to paint. It took forever to paint this, and it's not my best work, but it was the best I could do now. So, you know, I'm gonna show you guys on the next episode. So I hope you guys are ready. I'm excited to show you guys very excited to show you guys. So stay tuned.